Jeff Bezos, Amazon.com. I'm super excited about the possibility this could be the innovation of the administration.
8 years ago, President-elect Trump hosted a gathering at Trump Tower for the leaders of America's biggest technology companies.
Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla.
The titans of tech were all there, including Tim Cook of Apple, Sheryl Sandberg of what was still called Facebook back then, and Satya Nadella of Microsoft.
Eric Schmidt, Alphabet, Google, and completely agree with what's been said.
The atmosphere at the gathering was cordial and constructive, but in a strangely one-sided way.
Well, I just want to thank everybody. This is a truly amazing group of people.
The tone was less that of a new commander-in-chief issuing directives to his troops than of a new company boss eager to impress a team of skeptical management consultants.
I'm here to help you folks do well. And you're doing well right now, and I'm very honored by the bounce. They're all talking about the bounce, so right now everybody in the room has to like me at least a little bit. But
in reality, most of the business people there had privately, and occasionally publicly, expressed their barely concealed contempt for the man. Some had actually tried to stop from ever becoming president.
There's nobody like you in the world. There's nobody like the people in this room.
Mr. Trump seemed to crave their approval.
Anything we can do to help this go along.
The dynamic even suggested the tech leaders thought that they could play him.
You'll call my people, you'll call me. It doesn't make any difference. We have no formal chain of command.
Hi, everyone.
8 years later, how the tide has turned.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Since Elon Musk's appearance at his first Trump rally in October, he's become a loyal lieutenant. Elsewhere, Tim Cook has been seen supping solicitously at Mar-a-Lago, while Mark Zuckerberg has donated $1 million to the president-elect's inaugural budget.
I'm actually very optimistic this time around. He seems to have a lot of energy around reducing regulation. And my point of view, if I can help him do that, I'm going to help him.
I can't think of a more powerful illustration of the contrast between then and now.
People say that politics and business don't mix, but it has to. And these business leaders recognize that under a Trump administration, they have to find a way to compromise and work and thrive.
And just as his domestic critics have gotten in line, so the world has saluted, more or less reluctantly, Trump's restoration. 5.5 years after the fire at the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, there was Mr. Trump surrounded by foreign leaders respectful of their return visitor.
It's a great honor for French people to welcome you.
In 2017, during his first term as president, Mr. Trump's visit to Europe elicited a powerful mix of equal parts loathing, fear, and disdain.
We have to work together. We are representing half of the world trade. $1 trillion is the trade figure between us.
The loathing may still be there, if muted. The fear may be stronger than ever. The disdain is gone.
We are ready for the greatest achievements in the history of freedom.
Well, since George W. Bush was re-elected in 2004, has America had a GOP president with the standing, the authority, and the legislative and executive resources to reshape politics in the US and abroad?
I was imprisoned in a cell by myself, and in the early morning of this Monday, or the Monday of this week, they took a hammer and they broke my door down.
Evidence of this new order is already apparent not simply in the obeisances of once dubious business leaders, but in events beyond our shores. The fall of Bashar al-Assad in Syria isn't so much a direct result of Mr. Trump's election as a vindication by proxy of his whole strategic approach and a repudiation of Joe Biden's.
We are constantly following what is happening in Syria. We are determined to defend the interests of Israel and to protect the achievements of the war.
Now that we've shaken off the caution and restraint of the Biden administration, just about, you can't look at the damage inflicted on Iran and its allies by Israel in the past year and not see a justification for a more robust assertion of our own national interests.
I can tell you that it will remain an honor for me to have served France and the French with dignity.
The political turmoil in Europe, a collapsed French government, a collapsing German one, discontent everywhere, isn't a direct result of the election here either, but it is a measure of the continent's continuing adjustment to decades of pursuing the wrong priorities.
I urge us to keep faith and keep going. This is the single greatest existential threat to humanity if we do not deal with climate change.
Even the efforts to achieve some sort of settlement in Ukraine have been accelerated, mainly because of the advent of the new presidency.
He is much more stronger than Putin. He's stronger. United States stronger.
Only a few presidents in history changed the political weather by their very election. John F. Kennedy perhaps presaged the social and political transformations of the 1960s. Ronald Reagan in 1980 announced the arrival of a new political economy for the West. 2025 looks like it will see Mr. Trump's new order get underway.